started my journey into agriculture about 10 years ago with my best friend, Jared Smith, in San Diego, California, where I eventually ended up starting my own urban farm called Nature's Always Right. And I ran that for about 4 years on leased land. Getting into farming has been an incredible adventure that has led me to this moment, the moment that every grower dreams of, owning their own land. I've taken many of you on this journey with me via video, sharing my experiences as a farmer and sharing other farmers' journeys. One of my big goals in starting my YouTube channel and my content creation in general was to show how just a normal guy could start a little backyard farm, eventually grow that into some other urban plots, and then eventually be able to save up and purchase a property to do larger scale agriculture. I want to get as many people into growing their own food as possible because I see it as the best way for us to take back our sovereignty, not only for our health, but for our liberty, for our families, and our communities. After many months of searching, my wife and I eventually settled on this beautiful 16-acre property in Tennessee. 12 acres of it are wooded, and a little over 4 acres of cleared land and pasture. My wife and I made incredible sacrifices in order to get here, working 7 days a week for 4 years straight, hardly ever going out, not spending any extra money, and living in a 250 square foot apartment. I'm very thankful and grateful for the experiences that we had and the family that allowed us to live there and use their land to farm. There's many lessons that you learn from farming, but hard work and determination have to be two of the biggest. And that's something that really helped me on those days where I felt like giving up or I was just exhausted. My goal of getting land, building a bigger, better farm, and creating a homestead just kept me going and kept the dream alive for me so that we eventually made it here from both of my and my wife's hard work. So about every day, my wife and I would take a walk around the neighborhood in Lemon Grove, just dreaming and talking about the future property that we would have someday. And it's just so incredible to finally be here. I can hardly believe that it's real. But working hard and sticking to your goal, never giving up, this is how you can achieve what you want in life. This farm and land is going to allow me to do all the different agricultural and natural farming experiments that I've always wanted to do and to share with you all. And that's the thing I'm most thrilled about, is being able to show this journey here of building a homestead, building a future farm, and teaching and learning from you guys all along the way. So the first thing that we want to create on our homestead is a huge garden that'll be a beautiful space for us to enjoy, as well as feed us the majority of our food. And we're going to be building it here in the clearing that I'm sitting at right now. So over the last few weeks, we've been having a lot of trees cut so that we can let in enough light for this property to be able to have a huge garden, do some different fruit and trees in here, so that we'll have the ability to grow as much food as we'd like behind our home. So of course, the first animals I'm gonna get are chickens. You guys already know I love my chickens. I've missed having them this last year, and I miss having their eggs as well. So that's gonna be the first thing I do here. I have been working on a new design for my chicken coop that will be similar to my other automated coop you've seen before, but we're gonna be adding in some new features, and a really cool feature that my wife came up with that I'm really excited to show you once I build it. So I'll keep you guys in suspense for that. And we will also be raising some meat birds as well as some other animals. I've always wanted to raise my own meat, but I wasn't able to in a suburban area. So it's gonna be really exciting to be able to do that here and raise some really healthy, wholesome meat, and also use the animals for work, like taking care of the forest out here. This forest has a little bit of problems. You know, it has blight and beetle issues. Many of the trees that we've been cutting down, they actually have huge pieces missing out of the center where bugs have been eating it, or the ants do a lot of damage, or termites even. So what I want to be able to do is use the animals like pigs to come in, clear the brush. I'll come in and do some forest management of taking out certain trees, in order to let in more light for the more established healthy trees. And I really want this forest to be able to last for hundreds of years from the work that we're doing here. The front field has a wonderful barn already on it that was from the previous owner, who used to ride horses with his daughter, and they used to graze their horses out there as well. And the last couple years though, I believe it's just been in hay. So a local farmer right across the street, he has about 80 acres where he raises his cows. So he comes and hays the field and feeds it to his cows in the winter. So this barn is going to serve as a storage area, but also I'd like to turn it into a natural farming area where I can make a lot of my different inputs for Korean natural farming and jadam. And it'll be the staging ground for the future farm that I eventually build. So the front field is really interesting. There's many different slope angles and degrees of slope. So there's going to be a lot of different design elements that I'll be able to bring to it that I've always wanted to do. So things like rainwater catchment, ponds, big swales, planting on contour, and I really want to incorporate a lot more perennial crops into my farm this time around. It's going to be very different from the annual-based farm that I had in San Diego. I want to focus more on crops that grow longer but also have a high profit margin, and things that I can take and make other products from, doing value-added products. So I'm doing a lot of different thinking and research and planning for the future farm right now. So in designing this new farm, the main criteria I have is to come up with a farm that creates synergy through the different crops, the animals that I'll be grazing there, in order to create a full ecosystem, just as God designed nature to work. So those are some of the things coming in the future, and I can't wait to share this next chapter of Nature's Always Right with you all. Thank you so much for being part of this journey so far with me. I wouldn't have been able to do any of this without you guys and your support. I would never be able to get to this moment that I always dreamed of. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. And I can't wait to keep learning and growing together. And I'll see you guys very soon in the next video.